This is a public service announcement for you to remember to always read the articles and not just the headline. Also, maybe read more than one article from different sources and extrapolate what you are being told, as sometimes certain things are just a wee bit exaggerated to make it sound more crazy, because that gives clicks, and clicks equal money. And believe me, I get that. Like, that's my whole thing too. Like, I know. Also, maybe don't lie to people. How about that? So, this latest theory about dinosaur extinction was never really a proper theory at all, as the paleontologists who actually did the study to determine this particular element involving the change of climate back during the Mesozoic never remotely suggested that this was actually the reason they went extinct. But many mainstream news sources opted to see this and write their own articles about it and say that, oh, hey guys, dinosaurs farted themselves to death. Listen, that is not what anyone said. No one said that. No one said that, okay? Let's just make that very, very clear at this point. That was never stated by any actual paleontologist. Okay? Now, this started all back in 2012, due to a study that was conducted by paleontologist David Wilkinson, as well as his collaborators. The study involved trying to determine how much, flatulence sauropods in particular could have produced. And to be fair, this sounds nuts to even look into, but it is a relevant topic. After all, animals produce methane gas as a waste product, and that gas can have an effect on the environment if it's in significant quantities. Their math was based on the idea that the digestive systems of the sauropods must be at least somewhat similar to modern-day cows, but obviously amplified by a significant margin since they were way bigger. And based on how much food they would have had to eat to stay alive, they roughly determined how much gas would be expelled through burping and farting. And needless to say, it was a lot. These were prevalent creatures, they were all over the planet, so naturally there'd be a lot of gas produced by them. And they did admittedly determine that there would be enough to influence the global climate, at least to some extent, but the researchers themselves never actually said anything about extinction. All they suggested was that the animals may have played at least a small part in making it so that the environment back during the Mesozoic was really warm. But this element was also combined with an increase in volcanic activity and other natural phenomenon that had nothing to do with the farts. But of course, many a mainstream news outlet like the BBC and Fox News jumped on the paper and said, "Oh my goodness, dinosaurs farted themselves to death, you guys, it totally happened. Look, the paleontologists said it. These scientists, man, they're so smart." Even though the paper itself never actually stated that at all. The most they said was that it was a key factor in the warm climate that the Earth was experiencing during that time. But dinosaurs were well equipped to handle a warm Earth. Many species thrived in that kind of environment, and the Earth can stabilize itself given enough time. The farts would not be enough to change the planet permanently at all. Also, again, the paleontologists never said anything about extinction. Most of them commonly accept that the giant rock from space might have had a lot more to do with that, rather than their own farts. It's not believed that it had anything to do with them actually dying out, just that it may have influenced the climate of the planet somewhat. That's all the study said. But again, mainstream news media loves to just throw stuff out there without thinking about it, or just utilizing sensationalist headlines to get clicks, which is much more important than actually, telling the truth. So be careful out there, people. And if anything, I would simply suggest actually reading the papers done by actual scientists if you really want to verify anything. This stuff is published. You can read it. You don't have to rely on clickbait news articles for information. You can actually read scientific studies to know things. It's possible. Like, with your eyes. I'm pretty sure most of you can read. I'm fairly confident in that assessment, so please, I implore you. I am begging you, in fact, use your brains. And if it sounds ridiculous, verify. Trust, but verify. I think that's a reasonable approach. And with that, a special thank you to my apex predators, Metal for Life Guy, Dr. Racer78, and Arthur Roy. Till next time, this is Darkness, and I bid you all a fond farewell.